discuss slides. So you can log into your SAS platform, right? Give your whatever institute ID, what you have given, your password. Is my screen visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I don't know how many options are showing for you. Ideally, the top one should be SAS Studio and SAS Enterprise Miner. These are the two things which will take care or which you'll learn throughout our course. Enterprise Guide is basically the desktop version, right? But I think I don't think they're supporting right now. Earlier they used to support from last year. I think they have stopped supporting for the academics version. So there is no actual difference between Enterprise Guide and Studio. Enterprise Guide is like we did work on the Tableau desktop and the Tableau web version, right? Something similar to that. In the Enterprise Guide, you download that software, you download that software client, kind of install that in your laptop or desktop and work offline, right? But SAS Studio, you need to have internet connection. You are working on their platform, in their website, in the software platform which they are providing us, right? So that is the only big difference. There are a few other things which we should not worry about, but the major difference, because all the kind of performance, all the user interface remains same. And I find SAS Studio a little bit of user friendly in comparison to Enterprise Guide. But all the analysis, everything, 99% remains same. Enterprise Miner, again, you have to use it will download a client. So what I'll suggest you today, Nia, we are going to discuss SAS today, and next class I'll show you Enterprise Miner. So when I say discuss, only the kind of user interface today will acquaint ourselves with. Then later on we'll start getting into detail, right? Deep dive and look into all the tools available. Enterprise Miner takes time to load. So whenever we have kind of classes using Enterprise Miner, before you join the class, open it and start to run, right? Because it will take at least, depending upon your server, depending upon the internet connection, it might take 5 to 10 minutes, right? So click on the SAS Studio. So today, let us just quickly go through like a few points on the SAS Studio, then later on we'll use that in detail. Everybody is in this page. You should have something page like this, not necessarily these kind of options, but left side should be right. Okay. Anybody who is not in this page? Okay. So let us try to understand the left side part of it. If I just click on the servers, files, folders, right? If I click on these files, so there are files, different folders are available, right? Okay. So what happens basically? So there are three things we have to understand today. There is something called folder. There is something called library, right? And there is something called this right side where we are going to do the analysis, right? Different tools are different tasks which you can do, right? So folder is something where you will upload your files, because SAS cannot take your files. If you like in Tableau we used to do, we used to import a Excel file or import a CSV file. Same thing here. We have to upload whichever file we want to work with, or the number of files we want to work with. We have to upload into a folder, right? So that is the first file, first part, right? So in a folder we store our files. Second thing is about the library, right? So the difference between folder and library is library only keeps the SAS specific files. What do you mean by SAS specific file? If I just go to, if you just drop down in the library, right? Okay, you might not have, you can just click on the SAS data or SAS help. Okay. So, okay, here you will not come to know. Okay. Just go back to your server files folders. Do one thing. So let us go step by step so that it will be better to understand. So I had created a folder. Let me delete that. Okay, no need to delete. I can ask you just to create. Go to files. Okay, right click it. Okay, new folder. Go to this files option, left side files option, right click it, new folder. So once the option comes, let's say, just keep a name. And there is a naming convention which we'll discuss. It generally cannot start with a number. Ideally 8 characters. So those are the things which we'll discuss. So I have given the name of PAUS, the course underscore 2021. You can give the same name, PAUS 2021. Everybody is able to create a folder.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So once you create a folder, right click, upload files, right? So I had kind of given you a insurance file. So same thing you can upload. So now some file that file which I had given you in the Google Classroom, insurance1.csv file is uploaded to the folder which you have created, right? So this is the first part. So now onwards, whenever I share any files, you can use the folder to upload files and work on that, right? So this is what, this is a CSV file, right? Comma separated value file, right? Now we want to convert that into a SAS file. SAS cannot directly work, either the SAS Studio or Enterprise Miner cannot directly work on a CSV or Excel or any kind of file. You need to convert that into a SAS specific file, right? What is the format of a SAS specific file? If I just get into, just show you. So the kind of name will be something like .SAS7BDAT, right? So it is not that you have to give that name automatically, that extension will come. Only the left side part you have to give. So the extension of SAS files is SAS7BDAT, right? Anytime you see the name of a file with the extension SAS7BDAT, so that is a SAS file. So anytime you want to work on any kind of data analytics project, first part is to convert that into a SAS file, right? So now what our task is to, we have this insurance CSV file which you have uploaded into our folder. Now we'll create a library. So then what is the difference between folder and library? Library can only hold this SAS file. In folder, I can put any CSV, Excel, even the SAS file, any type of files I can upload into folder. Folder is somewhere I'm storing my file. Library is somewhere where I'll be working on the project, where I'll be carrying out the data analytics, right? So whenever I'm running any codes or whenever I'm running any data analytics, I cannot directly run from a folder. I have to run it through a library, because in library we are storing the SAS file, right? So the steps are: upload your file, convert, obviously create a library. So creating a library might be a one-time work. Then whenever you are uploading that file, convert that into a SAS file, store in that library, and anytime you are working, work on that library, right? So the first step, what we completed, we just uploaded a file which was given to us. Now I'll go to a library. Okay. So already I have few libraries. You might not have these many numbers because last year or before that also I had created some libraries. So now what we'll do, we'll create a new library. So let's say give the name of PAUS 2021. Okay. So now the path, what it is asking, library will not create a separate folder. So it is asking where, from where I should take the files, right? Because I have created that folder, I will upload all my files there and I'll work there. So that path I'll give. So browse files PAUS 2021. Okay, right. So what I'm telling, I'm creating a library which name is PAUS 2021. I gave the path name as that folder which I had created. So anytime I want to work on that library, it will go and find any SAS files which is there in the in your folder, right? Then leave name here not required. Actually, recreate this library as a startup, right? So this is the interesting part. So if you see this library, right? So there are two libraries which are created automatically anytime you start SAS Studio. That is your SAS help, SAS user, and sorry, your SAS user and your work. Work is a temporary. So anytime you work in a file or any kind of analytics, work is a temporary library which has been created. If you do not create a library, any file you are working, it will be stored in the work file temporarily. Once you close the session, it will be deleted. So this is the temporary files, temporary libraries which are created. Now what I'm saying, you create this POS library, PAUS 2021, recreate this library at startup. Anytime I'm clicking on SAS Studio, opening up SAS Studio, this library should be there. It should not happen that every time I'm opening SAS Studio, I have to create a new library. So this library, I'm telling that this library should be on my SAS Studio folder. Okay. So now my library PAUS 2021 is created. So there are no files under it. Up to this point, any doubt, any questions? We have just done two simple things. We have created a folder and we have uploaded a file and we have created a library. Anybody who is not in this page?
Sir, in your system in server files and folders, the uploaded file named as .csv file, and but in my case it is .csv.xlsx, and there is a cross mark like the symbol in your system. There is a file like symbol. I have a file like symbol and means the symbol of XLX symbol I am getting.
Okay, how did you save that file when you downloaded from your Google Classroom? Did you save that as XLX?
No, sir. Actually, when I'm properties,
You might have changed the name.
Sir, naming is .csv, but it is saved as XLSX.
Yes, so do not save. It is a text file, right? So download the file and upload it. Do not save it as Excel file. So CSV is actually a text file, right? So
sir, while downloading from Google Sheet, there is an option to download it as CSV file.
Yeah.
Instead of downloading it as sheet file.
Yeah. So download it as a CSV file. Okay. Anyone else having any difficulty? Just we have created a folder, uploaded a file, and we have created a library. And in that library, we have linked that library to the folder. Why we have done that? Now I'll show you. Go to that folder, go to that insurance once.csv file, just double click it. Okay. Just double click it. So now the step is to convert my CSV file to a SAS file so that SAS can read it, right? So now I have a CSV file. I want to convert it to a output data. I want to convert it to a SAS file. Okay. So come below to this output data, change. So it is asking where it should store. So if I cancel it, it will see that data name is import and library is work. So this is a default setting. Anytime if I do not do anything and I just say run, so in the work library, the file which we created as a import, the name will be import. So there will be a SAS file called import will be created under work library. So if I want to work on that, I have to work on that file. But I have already created a library for that, right? Anytime I want to work on any data set in this classroom, I've already created a library for that. So that's why I'm going to change that output data. Output data will be my POS PAUS 2021. Name I will give as insurance. Okay. Save.
Sir, can you repeat this? Sir?
Yeah. So
Process.
under output data, so there is something called change, right? So for you to be showing SAS app dataset name import library is work. So that is the default setting. So anytime you work on SAS, if you do not ask them or ask SAS platform to store your work file in a particular library, automatically default setting is it will store that in a work folder, sorry, work library, right? And the name will be import. So that is the default setting. So what I'm telling now SAS is, no, I have already existing library which I have created. I want you to store my this data set and this which insurance data set in that library, right? So I selected my library which I had created and gave the dataset name rather than import. I said this is a insurance dataset, so I'm giving the dataset name as insurance. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Anybody who is having difficulty up to this point? Okay, save. Once you say save, so I've not done anything. I've just told, like in Excel, you say, okay, right now I'm going to work on a project. I have created a folder. Any Excel file which I'm working on, save in this folder. As simple as that, right? Nothing much. So then I'll run it. So this run function, what it does, whatever files you input, right? Whether SPSS, JMP or CSV or XLS, it will convert that into a SAS file. So I'll put run. So once my run is complete without any error, if you see there is a SAS file which has been created. The name is insurance.sa7b. So this is the SAS file which has been created from my CSV file in that folder, PAUS 2021. And if I go down into to my library also, because I have linked that to my folder, that file right now will be showing insurance file has been created. So this is the only thing which you have to kind of practice or remember. This is the simple thing. Other things are basically like SPSS, you can do the analytics, and obviously I'll teach you a few lines of coding. So this is the only important step. Create a, whenever you work in SAS, create a folder. Anytime you are working, upload your files in that folder. Parallelly create a library. You will be working on a library. Library is linked to a folder. So any SAS file which is created in a folder, automatically it will show in your library, right? As it shows the insurance file in my folder. Is it clear?
So after I saved it, it is showing as insurance.csv.ctl.
No, you have to run it. So this run button you have not. Have you run the file?
Yes, sir.
Oh, CTL means it is a temporary. Should quickly run.
Should I redo it, sir?
Yeah, try to redo it. It is a small file. It should not take more than few seconds. Make sure
Yes,
that
sir.
your output data is your whatever your library and the dataset name. Then just run this. Anybody who is finding difficult to be in this page? Anyone? Any issues? Okay. So now the thing is, so I have created not created, actually converted a CSV file to a SAS file. So was that a question?
No, sir. Yes.
Okay. So anytime we want to work, like I said, we have to work on a SAS file, right? So now what we can do? So if you just go to task and utilities, right? So there are different tasks, there are different things I can do. So these are the normal statistical analysis, right? Ranking data, transforming data, standardizing data, right? So let us try to do certain summary statistics first, or data exploration. So first I'll click on summary statistics. So this is under task and utilities. Starting with very simple tools, if you go on and check, so there are different type of analytical methods in regression, ANOVA, logistics regression, then your cluster analysis, there is something called survival analysis, then obviously other things like which we might not use right now, forecasting, different types of forecasting you can do here, then econometrics. So it has a lot many of tools in the inventory which you can use. At least we'll be able to use all this: cluster analysis, linear modeling, multivariate analysis, which again, like depending upon what exactly you are doing, PCA, factor analysis. So there are different types of techniques which is available to us, right? So we'll start with the simpler one. We'll try to understand our data. Click on the summary statistics. So now if you see, automatically it is looking into work.import file, right? But I do not want that, right? Because there is no file there. What I have done, I have kept my file in the library called PAUS 2021, right? So I go to find PAUS 2021, my insurance file. Okay. So what variables I want to understand? So I want to understand all these variables. Age. I want to understand claim amount, charges. Okay. Then what will be my categorical variables? Categorical variables, age, gender, body mass index also is given in number. So next class I'll show you how to convert these variables. Age, gender, smoker, state, insurance claim, number of children. Okay. So again, like it is not that you can do different combinations also. I'm just trying to show you how this. So this is a simple kind of descriptive table, right? Each age wise. So in the age group 18, 0 is female, 1 is male. Number of children wise, smoker, 0 means non-smoker, 1 means smoker. State wise, insurance claim, number of observations, mean charges, mean claim amount, mean BMI, standard deviation. All these descriptive statistics is given to me, right? Again, with the different combination permutations, I can create different statistics, right? Like in your Excel, you can just do a pivot table, right? So this is about your descriptive statistics. Again, like I'll encourage you to go through all those other which is applicable and which we'll discuss from next class onwards, right? And like Excel, the best part about SAS is if I just want to understand coding part also, right? I just can click on code, right? And see that what actually, if I do not want to go away, because in some SAS based version, right? Most of the finance companies which have a SAS based version where you will not have this drag and drop option, where actually you have to write codes like this. I can learn like this. What actually I want to understand, what are my variables, what are my class variables. See, what are my variables? Charges, claim amount, BMI. What are my class variables? CLSS that I'm defining, age, sex, children, smoker, state, and insurance claim. Then run. Anyhow, we will discuss this. So the idea is parallelly we will learn few lines of coding so that in case some of you get into the base version also, It's not come as a surprise that, okay, I have to do coding, right? But the idea is you can do both. I can just do the analysis in simple drag and drop click version. Also, I can write the code for it. Some companies will only have the SAS base version where you have to do the coding. So you will not have this kind of options. So it is always better to at least have certain understanding of coding, so that suddenly you go and somebody says, what does proc means? What does data means? What does set means? At least basic coding we should have understanding. So next 2 to 3 sessions we'll go and understand how this code works. But this is a good way, like some of you, if you have done Excel VBA, so that is how people learn Excel VBA, right? You do certain exercises and see how that VBA code works. Okay, so go and yeah,
So after selecting the variables, what did we do?
run it. So anytime you want to
Okay.
run any analysis, there is a running man symbol. You just have to click it, and then you have to see into results. So coding part is the what actually the code, what actually SAS. So when it's a run, what actually was written to SAS, what kind of code was written, which gave us the result. If there are any issues, it will show here log. Anytime your code doesn't work or your analysis doesn't work, you click on this log and you'll find what kind of errors or warnings, right? The results are basically what we wanted to see, right? Any questions on this? Yeah, I just wanted to show you the basic interface. Next class onwards, we'll get into details. We'll work
Sir,
on next
when
class.
I'm
Yeah.
pressing the plus symbol, it is not means working, or it's not coming.
Have you selected the file data
Yes, sir. POS 2021 insurance.
and
I
the
selected.
okay? This option is not available to you.
No, no, sir. It is available, but when I'm clicking on it, it is not showing me anything. Like yes, it is not coming.
Because you have already selected, right?
No, sir. I'm not selected actually. Means no option is coming for me to select all this. Means charges, claim amount, BMI.
Oh, you have
This
not
all.
defined all this, right?
Yes, when I'm pressing that click button, yes, sir. But then it's not coming. Like what to add, what not to add.
Okay. Anybody is facing? Just check your internet connection. But anyway, I think internet connection is good because you can log in into.
So maybe it is with the data part. Maybe he has not mentioned the insurance.
No, he told he has
data.
already indicated. You have already selected the data, right? Others,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
just make sure that the correct data file is mentioned, PA, wherever you have stored. Ideally, what other issue can be there? Because if I remove this, then now it is showing because BMI is not there. Now I can select. If you have already selected all the variables, then it will be showing now no columns are available. If all the variables either are in these two kind of rules, nothing left, then only it will be showing.
Yes, sir. Then exclamation mark is coming in data part. That above data.
Here. So
No, sir. Above, beside options. That.
here.
Yes, sir.
So then I think your data is
The red
not
color
created.
explanation.
Your data is not created. Have you created the data? So there also you click the run button. Go
Yes,
to this
sir, I
insurance
have.
file. Go to this insurance file, click on the run button. And make sure that it is stored in your PAUS 2020 or whatever name you are given. So I'm not very kind of critical that you have to give this name. Whatever name, I'll show you the naming convention you have to follow. It cannot be more than library name cannot be more than 8 characters. It cannot start with a number. So there are certain naming conventions. So make sure that you are following that, then click run. So the file should be available in this library.
Yes, sir. I have done that. Then in
Now
summary
you,
statistics, it is still showing that exclamation mark.
okay. So share your screen. What? Let's see.
Okay, sir. So this is showing.
Okay, if you click on this plus, it is not coming, right? Okay, close this. Summary statistics, close this. Yeah, close this. Go to library. Under library, PAUS 2021. So file is there, insurance file is there. Okay. Now go to task and utilities. Click on the top one. Summary statistics. Yes. Now once again select. Go to this. No, insurance. Okay. Just go to log. Let's see if any error is right side top one. Click on the data. Left side. There any error in that red symbol? If you just put your cursor, is there anything coming? It is not coming. Okay, go to this insurance. That's one CSV file. No, come down. The file is there. Output data. Click on the output data. So file is there. So there are no issues in the file. But it is not able to read. Go to summary statistics again. Let us try something else. Just click on the that button. We will select some other file. Just click on the data. Go to this SAS help. Click on this spacebar. Okay. Now if you click on the analysis variable, nothing is coming.
No, sir. I'm clicking, but nothing is coming.
Okay, then there is not a problem with file. That is something with your interface. Drag down in here if there is a few messages in your right side corner, bottom corner. Click on those messages. Okay, submitted on-site program. Okay, not a problem. No, close it. That is not it. Okay, I'm not able to find any problem as such in your. So we'll see this next class. Just let me quickly go through a few slides. Okay, we will see this next class.
Okay, sir.
Just remind me. And once you close the SAS, try to log in once again. There might be certain temporary server issue. If it is still not happening, maybe you can give a call before next class, right? We'll try to work and see that what is the problem.
Okay, sir.
Anyone else facing the similar issue? Okay, so if not, again, the simple thing what we have done, we have created a uploaded a file, converted that to a SAS file, and we have done a summary statistics. There are other options also, different charts, graphs. Try to familiarize yourself with you, familiarize those things with you. Then next class we'll start discussing one by one, right? Main idea is, but obviously not on the descriptive part. We'll quickly get into the regression, then logistics regression, then decision tree and all those things. But before that, quickly just let me take you through the predictive analytics approach.
Sir, is there any way that we can what is doing we can save this file what we are doing today?
Save in the, you are telling this SAS file.
Yes, sir. Like if you want to open this, whatever we did today, then analysis part. If you want to open this again, then what we have to do? The
SAS
data is
file.
saved in our the data is saved in the library, but the whatever the analysis we did, we perform. We want to every time we have to do that again.
No, you can save that. Whatever summary
Sure.
statistics you have done, file, go to the file and save it.
Okay.
Are you not are you able to do that? Where is my screen? Just a moment, let me share my screen. So there is something called output. Okay, so you can give a name, create output data set, whatever data set name you want to give, right? So you can save that again in your whichever folder you want to save. Okay, data set, let's say I want to save it as a descriptive statistics. Okay. So this output file, whatever we run that summary statistics, right? So that will be available as a output file. So again, you can create a, save that in the same library which you are using.
Okay, sir.
Okay, clear or any doubt? So you have to click on this output. Anybody having any doubt? Okay, just quickly again, like some part of it we'll discuss again in the next class. So how does a like kind of a analytics project work, right? And this is much important for your interview point of view, whether it is in campus or later on you want to switch into your data analytics or business analytics career, right? So next 5 or 10 minutes I'll spend on this slide only. Then next class onwards we'll discuss the other things. So it always start with a requirement, right? Like I said, whether it is marketing, research, analytics, it always requires effort. If requirement is not good, right? Somebody is not going to pay you money or put certain effort in that whatever the analytics project, right? So these two part, project design and data sampling, is the most difficult part. Other part you can learn it through class, through courses, through different books. These two part takes experience, right? Think about a typical scenario. Right now COVID has happened, right? How to predict, like the same question which we was discussing, how to predict a number of beds or the like different hospitals, government hospitals. Let's say our target is to provide them with the necessary oxygen cylinders, PPE kits, all those things, and we should be ready for, let's say, whatever phase 3 or phase 4 whenever it comes, right? So how clearly you signify, like that define that problem objective, that will define what kind of data you require, and that will define your all those approach, all those modeling. If that part is wrong, if that part is very short term, right? If you say that, okay, let me collect data for last 1 month or 3 months and see that what is happening, or let me try to create model for next 6 months or 3 months. So you might not be able to define your problem correctly. Same thing with any business company you take, Amazon, Flipkart, Ola. So whenever they are creating a statement for an analytics problem, that need to be very clear. And that's why it is not only the top manager or the like data scientist guy. It needs involvement of all those additional persons. Maybe the data engineers, maybe your IT person, maybe persons from sales or marketing who have the clear understanding of the market. In this case of COVID, if the ministry only takes that, okay, let us get this model ready, but we might not have anyone who is collecting data. We might not have government records properly maintained, right? If I go to a government hospital and try to find out how many COVID patients are admitted daily for last 1 year or last 6 months, how many became critical then moved into ICU, day wise, doctor wise, location wise, criticality wise, how are you keeping those information, right? So that becomes a big challenge. Without having the knowledge of that ground reality, if I start to define my business objective, that becomes a bigger problem later on. I start to build a data pipeline and everything, and I find out that it is impossible task. We do not have existing data for that. So everything we are going to discuss is purely on data. I'm not going to create my theory based on certain my understanding or experience. If data itself is not available, I'll not able to create anything. I'll not able to add any value, right? So this is where the first criteria. So anybody asks you what is the most important part? So defining a kind of problem objective, define your acceptance criteria, how your model will perform, then only kind of your business management is going to agree. Most of the banks or credit card companies, they have a limit. Your model should be able to predict with 78% accuracy or 82% accuracy or 80% accuracy. So that is the acceptance criteria, right? If my model is not performing that better in that way, I have to keep improving, optimize my model till I reach the acceptance criteria. Obviously, it cannot be 100%, right? So no model can predict with 100% accuracy. So with the limit, with the industry limit, am I able to predict that better? Then the next is document data and deployment requirement. And this is where many projects fail when they do not document it properly, because that is something very critical. If I do not have the knowledge what kind of data I require, so data basically I'm talking about the features, the variables which I'm going to collect, the independent variables, because dependent variables is known. What I want to predict: sales of a company, revenue of a company, profit of a company, number of days, number of beds required, number of PPE kits required, number of oxygen cylinders required. But to predict that, what kind of features I want, what kind of independent variables I want, that is something I have to have an understanding of that. And that is the most difficult part. And it will change industry wise. If I ask you to create a model for manufacturing assembly line or a healthcare or a telecom, different industry will be using different matrices. Different industries will have different kind of data kind of requirement. And that is something which will come from the experience, right? Then data sampling, data extraction, apply filters. So this is where before you start building your model, go and take a pilot data. Try to understand that whether you can believe in that data, right? And that is somewhere, if you see your survey data, most of the times becomes a challenge. Once you fill those surveys, most of the time there will be very reliability will not be there. Some people have just clicked those yes or no, right? So take a sample of data and try to do certain testing. See that whether you can believe in that data, right? How many outliers are there? Whether all those information is not properly distributed, which you assume, right? Identify external data sources. Obviously, here, if you understand that, okay, some data is missing, you have to collect more data, right? So this is where you have to ask question that where you will get those kind of information or data set, right? Then this is where the actual data analytics part work, right? Exploratory data analysis. So you try to understand your data. So here actual data has come, right? Not the pilot data. Here actual data, the big data or the number of which daily sales or monthly COVID dates, all those information is there. So identify data dependencies and correlations, identify trends and anomalies in data, right? So you are exploring the data, finding out outliers, finding out trend, finding out correlation, right? If two data set, two variables are very much correlated, correlation is 80% or 90%. So when you're building that model, you have to know that you have to make an assumption that, okay, these are two variables are correlated. So there will be a problem in prediction. Then the cleaning and feature selection. Feature selection is basically if you have 100 features or 200 features, which are the features are going to predict your model better, right? So we'll put some time on feature engineering, feature selection, data augmentation, transformation, standardization, right? So this will all come under feature engineering. Then here data modeling. If you look into all this process, data modeling is the 5% or 10% work, right? We talk a lot about logistics regression, decision tree. We break our head, array, how does this work? But that is only the 10% work. Before that, your 60 to 70% work has gone to get into this step. Then you start putting model. So I'll show you, like if I have 3 or 4 models, I have created one model using decision tree, one neural network, one, let's say, logistics regression, right? Which model is performing better, right? Because I have acceptance criteria. I should create a model with this much accuracy, this much performance, right? Then only my client is going to approve that project. So how to compare different models? So that is where your champion model will come up, and that will get into your production, right? So that means that will get into implementation part, right? So whenever we are going to discuss on any project, right? So we'll try to focus on these areas also, right? Why we are taking those features? What can be the challenge in getting those real-time data, right? Because right now I've given you that insurance data. It looks very easy, right? But imagine that if you are working in an insurance company, how to collect that data? Location wise, state wise, gender wise, number of children wise. If you have not already collected that information, how difficult will it be to reach out to each customer and ask them, how do you smoke or not, or how many children you have, right? So this is where you have to remember whether you have those existing data or you have to again go and collect that data, right? It is always easy to work on the existing data, but if you go on and, because that is something again, maintenance, data maintenance will come into picture, right? Anyway, we'll discuss those things, those problems. So these are few things. Start to work on your SAS Studio or try to go through those options which are available, and others let me know if it is not working before next class, so that we will work together on that. What is the problem I'm not able to understand right now? Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Chalo. Any
Sir,
last question? Yeah.
Sir, I missed my attendance actually.
Roll number 331.
331.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Chalo. We'll start working on SAS Studio from next class. If there are any problems on accessing that, please let me know in the next class. Chalo. Take care. Bye bye.